Good morning, everybody. I have kind of messed up on my order of the Lone Ranger thing. It was numbered wrong when I downloaded it, and I should have made a little more sense of how things, what their order were. I did. He becomes the Lone Ranger, and that was obviously the first one because, you know, he had to become the Lone Ranger first. Today we're going to do He Finds Silver, which is the second one, and we're going to do He Finds Dan Reed, which is the third one. And Dan Reed is his brother, so this one is kind of not making much sense to me because how did you find Dan Reed? His brother is Dan Reed, and he was killed in the ambush, so I don't know about that. The fourth one is he helps the colonel's son. We did that already, out of order. And the fifth one, he meets the war horse. Did that one. That one's out of order. And the sixth one we haven't done, and that is he saves the Boonville Gold. So I'm trying to get these all in order now. I should have made sure of the order before I even got started, but I didn't. So today we are going to do, like I said, Find Silver and then Finds Dan Reed and see what the heck is going on here because it's a mystery to me. I'm interested to see how he found, what does Silver just show up out of the blue and he grabs him and says, yeah, you'll be a good horse. I don't know. Let's find out. Tonto will help him, I'm sure. Tonto's always there when he needs him the most. So, come here, you. Let me make sure that's volumized. And we are off to find Silver. Can't have the Lone Ranger without Silver. Hi-yo. Hi-yo. Hey now.
Hi-yo, Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo, Silver! The Lone Ranger.
A laurel and hearty handshake. All right, let's get to it. Come on, hurry up. Oh, okay.
This is the legend of a man and a horse, and how they met.
Oh.
The story of the Lone Ranger and his great horse, Silver.
How do you do? Okay.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto were trailing the worst outlaw in the West. His name was Butch Cavendish. They had followed his trail for many weeks, until finally...
Oh, they on the same horse?
The prints of the outlaw's horse were fresh.
We're close to Cavendish now.
Yes, Tonto. He can't be far ahead.
Him outrun us last time. Maybe better we shoot in sight.
No, I want to take him alive.
Look out.
Steady there, steady, boy.
Over there.
Steady who?
An ambush him right way.
Tonto, he missed me, but he shot my horse. Get after him.
Get him up, fella.
Where'd this horse come from?
Tonto's horse was tired and no match in speed for the animal Cavendish rode. The outlaw escaped.
Oh, I bet it's
When
Cavendish's
Tonto returned
horse.
From the futile chase,
You think?
He found the Lone Ranger standing beside his dead horse.
A good horse, Tonto. Loyal, faithful, and brave. But my next
Loyal,
horse must be
faithful,
faster.
and brave.
I wish that... Tonto, we've heard stories of a wild horse, a fiery white stallion.
Him seen near valley over there.
Over
where
there.
Cavendish go.
West.
We'll be on the lookout for
No,
the wild
east.
horse while we follow Cavendish.
Not sure, Tonto. I mean, Kimosabi. Yeah, just what you need right now is a wild horse when you're trying to run down this
Tonto's
guy.
horse carried the Lone Ranger's saddle, his saddlebags, and bridle, while the masked man and the Indian continued on foot along the outlaw's trail.
And the Indian,
When they
come
reached the
on.
top of a hill,
Look, Tonto.
they halted suddenly and stared at an awe-inspiring sight far down in the valley.
Silver.
They saw a great white stallion in a death fight with a
knew it.
giant buffalo. The horse was plunging, rearing, charging, and dodging wildly, and the sun flashed from his coat as from a coat of polished silver. They realized that this was the legendary white stallion, the one ranchers and hunters had talked so much about.
Tonto, we must have that horse. I'll try to shoot the buffalo.
It's too far for pistol shots.
I'll get closer before it's too late.
As he ran downhill, the Lone Ranger
Sounds like a
watched the
different Lone Ranger in this one.
The white stallion was nimble and courageous,
You know,
but his
voice
strength
guy.
began to wane. The buffalo charged again and again. The splendid muscles of the white horse were slower in responding, then too slow. He was caught by the buffalo's charge. Wet crimson stained his pure white coat.
Oh,
Another
dear.
charge. The white horse saw it coming, and he couldn't dodge. He staggered and fell.
Oh.
The monster drew back and lowered his head for the death charge. And then, 2 shots rang out. The buffalo shuddered from the impact of the masked man's bullets. For an instant, he stood motionless, then fell.
I never knew. This is how Silver came to be. Tonto, try to track down some bandages and mercurochrome and
Truly battered and bruised, the white stallion lay quietly as the Lone Ranger bathed his wounds. During the next several days, the masked man and the Indian cared for the injured horse. Then the wounds were closed, and the horse's strength had returned. There was once more fire in his eye, a spring in his step, and his head was lifted proudly.
Tonto, he's himself again.
him
plenty
is.
strong.
Him.
Plenty good horse.
I wonder if he'll take a saddle. Let's try.
Go, you try. I'll stand over here and watch.
Me get rope. Him run away.
No, Tonto, wait. Let him go. I'd like to have that horse more than anything in the world. But he deserves his freedom. He fought for it.
Him stop.
He's turned to look at us. See how the sun reflects from his white coat.
Amazing.
Him look like Silver.
Silver.
Thank you, Tonto.
Would be a name for him.
I would have never come up with that.
Look at him. Silver! Hey, Silver! Tonto, he's coming back. It's just as if he knew what I said.
Him sure is. Kimosabe.
Silver, you beauty. Hand me the halter, Tonto.
As the mighty stallion felt the halter, he trembled as if from a chill. Every instinct told him that he must flee at once to preserve his freedom. And yet he stood his ground. It wasn't gratitude that kept him there. It was something stronger, some mysterious bond of friendship and understanding. He heard the man's voice, and he liked it.
Silver.
How do you know?
Silver. We're going to be partners.
Hi-yo.
Use halter.
Now, Tonto, the saddle.
Oh, no horse like that. Take saddle.
There never was a horse like this. Now, Silver, we're going to work together.
The horse was wild and unused to the ways of men and the weight of a saddle and a rider. But the masked man was a kind teacher. He was gentle yet firm, and Silver was intelligent. The stallion seemed to sense the desires of the Lone Ranger and did his best to cooperate. He learned quickly, and after several days of training, he was ready.
Follow me, Tonto. I'm going after Cavendish. Come on, Silver!
No
He has
hoofs
yet
ever
to
beat
call
the
him
plains
big
like
fella.
The thundering hoofs of the great horse Silver. During the past few days, Cavendish had gotten far away, but the masked man and Tonto trailed him relentlessly with only a minimum of rest. It took days to cut down the outlaw's lead, but at long last, Cavendish came into view.
There he is. Come on, Silver!
The mighty stallion responded with a new burst of speed. Cavendish fired wild shots over his shoulder until his gun was empty. His horse, though powerful and fast, was no match for the charging Silver.
Get up there. Come on.
Fear and panic filled the outlaw's face. He heard the hoof beats, ever nearer. And then the masked man shout,
I want you, Cavendish!
I want
The masked
you.
man's avowed mission was accomplished. The last of the Cavendish gang was captured to be tried by law and punished for his crimes. But there were many others whose criminal plans were to be challenged by the Lone Ranger, his faithful Indian companion Tonto, and his great horse Silver.
I am Silver!
Oh, that's it. We've come to the end. Well, there you go. Now you know where Silver came from. They run that poor horse ragged, even though he had a buffalo gore wound. Oh, 2 days, I think they said, and he was back up on his feet. Now let's run this horse to the ground. Yeah, sure. Come on. Well, I get it. It's just a story. So that's the Lone Ranger, and he finds Silver, and they just connect. They just connect somehow. Ain't that always the way? Well, we wouldn't have a story without, Silver not kicking him in the head and running and knocking that saddle off. Get out of here. I ain't putting no saddle on me. Be gone. All right, so the next one is he finds Dan Reed. Let's go find Dan Reed. See what happens there. All right. Later, folks.